phone and I make sure that I just look at my own feed. And I shared it, so if you guys want to share it, feel free.
How does that even share it?
Hold
Like
on.
share it now?
Yeah, it should notify you.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. I think we are live, everybody. Yes, no. Okay, Kirk liked my video. We are rocking and rolling. All right. So, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Happy Thursday. I think this is actually the first one of these we've done on a Thursday. So, yeah, I'm just going to kick it off here. We've been doing these since early June. Not all on Facebook Live, but with our platform, Chicago Real Producers, our primary mission statement is to elevate, inspire, and connect. This is the connecting part, realtors in Chicago, and not just to help everybody maintain their businesses, but to thrive. And I believe this is a critical time. I mean, I've never lived through a pandemic before. I don't know if you guys have, but personally, me, no. So, I mean, it's like you got pandemic, COVID, racial unrest, events happening, with looting downtown, an election coming up. Did I just dare say that out loud and have people talk about that? And so with it being difficult to connect with people, I mean, I'm trying to do what I can to leverage our platform to bring like-minded entrepreneurs together, especially in, groups of 10 plus. And so the goal really of this little jam session and collaboration is to take a little break from our quarantines, and just build a new relationship or solidify a relationship that has already been done. Share what it's real in the market in town. If you look at news, I try not to look at the news, but the world seems to be ending yesterday. And so just to share what is real and authentic in Chicago and in Chicago real estate specifically. And of course, just to share tips and strategies on how you're working through this situation. So the realtors that I asked on this call, I mean, you guys are the best of the best. You've been featured, of course, that I guess apparently that's a good thing, in our publication. But I just feel that, you're very collaborative, and agents I have found, not just in real estate, but, successful in sports, other entrepreneurial facets of life, like people sharpen each other. And so, if you try to do stuff all on your own, you're not going to do as well, to kind of elevate. High tide raises all ships, so I'm a big believer in that. So I want to really quickly allow the realtors to introduce themselves real fast, who we got on. I could introduce them, but, just to get people to kind of warm up their voices. So I'm going to have Wendi, why don't you go first, and Charese, then Vince, and then I'll give the partners a chance to introduce themselves. So Wendi, go ahead.
Perfect. Thanks, Andy. And thank you for putting these things together, because I do think it is really helpful to stay connected in these strange times. Good morning, everyone. I'm Wendi Gordon. I am with App Properties, and I've been in the business, this summer was 6 years. That's my story. That's my 8 seconds.
Yeah, and I will echo that. Thank you, Andy, for putting these together. It's always great to see people and to collaborate. And it's good to see all you guys here. I'm Charese David, and I am with Compass Real Estate, and I've been in the business about 15 years now. So there you have it.
Beautiful. This is the best intro ever.
I'm Vince Anzalone. I use Vincent in print because it sounds fancier, but in person you can call me Vince. I am with Dreamtown Realty. I've been a realtor now for, I think it's coming up on 5 years, but I started doing mortgages back in 2000. And so I've been in real estate on and off pretty much my whole life.
Yeah, you've been in the industry for a while. So are you telling me, Vince, that I should use Andrew because it would make me sound more successful?
I mean, that's the missing link.
Is that that is why I have not succeeded in life. That was it. All right, guys, call's over. This is fantastic.
I think it starts at like Vincent, and then it goes to Vince, and then Vinny. So to avoid going to Vinny, I started Vincent, so it goes down to Vince. Vinny's doesn't sound that professional. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, that's funny. So, no, I like, look, I'll jump in here and say this, like nothing what we do, as much as Agents Love Real Producers on our platform and what we're about, like nothing what I do is possible without the support of our partners. Okay. And so agents, as you are experts in your field, I've asked Kirk and Morgan and Tony to hop on this because they are experts in their field. And I think, you know, when a real estate transaction's done, it's like one of those things where sometimes you need 4 industries, sometimes you need 28. And so I believe that these people on this call can, you know, anybody who's experienced any success in real estate is used to being harassed by vendors. That is not who we partner with. These are people, you know, the people on this Zoom call are here to add value to your business. And I just can believe they can be a great resource to lean on if you need them personally or to refer out. So I'm gonna allow the partners a chance to introduce themselves and what they're all about. Kirk, why don't you kick it off, my friend?
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Kirk Gregory Jr. from Country Financial. I've been with Country for about 2.5 years now on my own. 3 years ago, I was a broke college student from NIU. But even though I've only been in the industry for 2.5 years, I have 8 years of experience because my father has been working for the company for a while, and I've been his assistant since I was 18. So now I'm an independent contractor, and now I'm building my own book of business. And that's it.
Perfect. Go ahead. I don't know, Tony, Morgan, I'll let you guys flip a coin.
After you.
Okay. My name is Morgan Lougee. I am a financial advisor with Westpoint Financial Group. I've been with Westpoint now for about a little over 2 years now. Prior to that, I worked as a finance transformation consultant. So similar process, just within the corporate space, and really just preferred working with individuals. And found, you know, a handful of realtors to work with that have really enjoyed kind of helping open their eyes to the financial planning and investment world. So yeah, that's me.
Beautiful. Tony, go ahead.
I'm Tony Fiorito. I'm the owner and lead photographer of Fio Creative. I've been a photographer for 13 years, but in the last 5 years, I've grown a media company, Fio Creative, with the sole purpose of creating marketing materials for the real estate industry and working with a lot of brokers, builders, designers, creating content both to market properties, but also for portfolio work and things like that.
Cool. No, we appreciate all the support. And like I say, all of our partners have been referred by realtors from our community. I want Tony actually supports our DuPage publication as well, DuPage Real Producers, which we launched in January. I know he works with Sam Schaefer, Kirk, Tyrone Green recently referred us, and then Morgan. I think Alex Wolking, right, was the one who originally connected us. So we appreciate your support. Like I say, I can't do my job without you. You know, we literally cannot do it. So I just want to open it up. We can jump into the meat and potatoes of this, and you know, this is your time. This is the time really where I shut up. Now, obviously, if there's a 17-second awkward pause, I do have some conversation starters. Like, you know, full transparency, I am looking at a Google document right now that's, you know, adjacent to this Zoom window. But I have found with realtors, you know, that we usually have the opposite problem. So I'm just going to open it up. Like, what do you guys want to talk about? I mean, is there anything that's pressing or just something that, you know, anybody would feel valuable to the group, whether it's a question or a comment? So I'm just gonna open it up.
I do. I mean, good group of people, by the way, and a good range of services, which is awesome. So some people I haven't really talked to in the past couple months on what's the state of the world. But one of the things that was interesting to me, I'd love to hear you guys' insights on the next couple months, the pending election coming up, how that's going to play into finance, real estate, mortgages, anything that you'd see as really beneficial is for insight wise. And, you know, along with the COVID and where we're going, I mean, we're moving into winter. We live in Chicago. It's, you know, we hear the conversations out there, and what are we gonna all do? And I'd love to hear some positive feedback from you guys on what's working. What do you think's gonna work? That kind of stuff.
Well, I think what's working is having listings in the suburbs right now, which is not my specialty by any means. But Streeterville and River North, I see struggling significantly, and it's a double whammy. Frankly, it's the COVID and people needing more or wanting more space, be it outdoor space or another bedroom. One bedrooms are cricket city. I mean, nothing, nobody wants a one bedroom, frankly, unfortunately. And I have some really nice ones that no showings. I mean, even for rentals. So that's something I'm seeing in pretty much all of Chicago, frankly, one bedrooms. But then even 2 and 3 bedrooms in River North and Streeterville, I think you have the COVID and then the looting twice. That second one, the second wave of looting was really rough, I think, for a lot of people. I do personally believe in the fortitude and the resilience of Chicago. I think we're going to bounce back, but not this week. So I don't know when that is, but I do have faith in Chicago. I just right now it's a rough ride, and it might be several months more.
I agree with you, Vince. I feeling the same thing in River North with listings, and I have a couple rentals there, and usually a rental that I could, rent out in a week because it's in a beautiful building and it's got a balcony and it's a 1.5 bath. We keep lowering the price, and we just can't get anyone in there. So I think that's the struggle. I do get the question a lot from my suburban friends who are seeing activity. Some have sold their houses in the suburbs. Isn't everyone leaving the city? And I don't believe that. I believe that, there is this influx of people going to the suburbs. I mean, I don't have any suburban listings, but I do have a couple buyers that I'm showing them stuff in the suburbs, and that is happening. But they have places to sell in the city, and we're getting activity. I'm talking more maybe the north side, Lakeview, North Center. We're getting showings, not really under contract yet, but I have good feelings. But I'm also seeing a lot of the people that are coming to look at it are the young couples or young professionals from River North and Streeterville, that they still want to stay in the city. So I'm seeing a lot of movement, people needing bigger, smaller, fatter, taller, whatever they need. So I feel like that's a good sign, but Chicago is going through a rough period, and we are resilient. I mean, I have my family has a business on Oak Street that was looted, badly the first time. The second time, okay, but they're boarded up, and that's just kind of a sad way to do business. So I just keep thinking positive. The city is strong, and we've been through some rough points, but like you said, it's not going to change overnight. So I think we just got to stay focused, and I try and keep with you guys, I'm going to talk, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but in real life, I think we just have to try and keep our conversations as positive as we can in the situation we're in.
I'm going to just chime in there because I agree 100%. I feel like we hear everyone speaking so negatively, and it's really important. I feel realtors are the peers of the city, and we are the ones that have to send the message, and the message has to be positive because we have so many clients. I've done a tremendous amount of business all over the place recently, and most of my stuff has been in the city, and most people are moving from River North, Streeterville, and they want to go north. But that's not uncommon any other year. If I'm doing a new construction, 90% of my clients that come through those new constructions, it doesn't matter the year, are generally coming from River North or Streeterville. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that their families are growing, and they were probably going to move anyway. And the people that were going to move to the suburbs, I think, are the people that are moving to the suburbs, maybe slightly earlier than they would have before. But I'm not this doom and gloom, everyone's leaving the city and everyone's making a big hiatus out, because I'm doing a lot of work with buyers right in the city, and maybe they're not going downtown, but they are living in the city. And I have people coming into the city that are just getting jobs, that are looking for properties downtown now. And, it's an interesting, well, I'm just saying, I mean, there are things happening, and I believe we are a resilient city. And, if you look at New York, or you look at San Francisco, or you look at any of these other big cities, Chicago still is a very reasonable city to live in, and it's a good city to live in. And we've got to keep spreading that word, and we've got to be the pillars of strength for our city. We just have to. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think
Yeah,
when we have some positive momentum with either finding a vaccine or the, contact tracing, or the testing gets, faster and stuff like that, as well as some, positive development from a social standpoint and race inequality standpoint, I think, people will be more comfortable with moving, staying in the city and, getting back to those neighborhoods that were probably specifically hit in Chicago. So I know everyone's
Yeah, I
trying to work
agree.
towards that. We all want to get things better. So it makes sense.
Right.
In the software, Georgie.
But yeah, I agree. It's definitely some crazy times out there. I've never been through a pandemic, of course, like none of you all, and I've never even been through what's called like a recession, because in 2008 I was in 8th grade. So
Oh my God.
Yeah, me
but
too. Me too.
because with everything's going on now, I'm starting to hold myself to a higher standard and really, trying to be the example within my community, because it's just unfortunate what's going on, and it's just a misconception. But while I'm saying that, how I can help you all out, because I've heard that you all are having struggles, selling 1-bedroom apartments or houses, whatever the case may be, they're really nice. What I've been doing is, because I'm a millennial, and what I thought about, like, everything needs to go virtual. Everything is social media. Everybody's on their phone. So what I've done, and what I've already have done before the pandemic, is I will partner with my realtors and loan officers to do like a Facebook Live of their listing, or a virtual tour of their listing. And typically what I do, I call myself H&K. I don't know if y'all seen Men in Black before.
Yeah.
Name is Kirk with a K. So that's my marketing. Like, that's how I came with my name in college. And I just ran with it ever since I got into the industry. And so what I started doing is I started doing a Facebook Live, and I tagged Crib. I call it Agent K Crib. So I don't know if you all familiar with MTV Cribs on MTV, where they would show the nice house and there'll be a refrigerator and everything like that. So I made the virtual tour that I partnered with my agents, and I just made it a show. And a lot of people actually like it, and actually, realtors are actually getting some action from it. So I don't know if you all want to partner one day. We can sit down and have coffee and tea and discuss it. But that's how I can help you all out. What I also do is I pass out flyers in like a 4-block radius of the open house or the property that's trying to sell. So you'll just email me the flyer. I'll print out maybe 200 of them, and me or someone on my marketing team will pass them out. That's how I can help you out.
That's cool. That's creative. That's, I mean, any little nuance that you can kind of add is value added at this time. That's awesome. Tony, I'm curious, man, because you flip-flop back and forth. Like, how are you getting creative during these times?
Yeah, it's interesting that you were talking about the suburbs. We've built our business on doing shoots really in the city, but I just looked at my calendar now, and I'm doing like one shoot in Roscoe Village, and then it's like Bartlett, Itasca, Elmhurst, Hinsdale. Like it's a lot out in the suburbs. So I am seeing a lot of work out there right now. But I think what we've adjusted to in this time, especially with the pandemic, is we've seen a lot of the marketing materials that we make like shift to, for instance, the Matterport 3D tour, something that was kind of like a niche thing that we just would do occasionally for like really nice architecturally interesting homes. And now we're doing them for 1-bedrooms. We're doing them from studios. We're doing them for everything, just to try and tell the story of the place and get some more visibility on places online. Reducing foot traffic, because I know there are some buildings, especially when things were really tight, that weren't letting people come into big high rises, and there weren't crowds moving through anywhere because you couldn't. So just getting materials online, video content, and 3D tours, so that people could see and really get a feel for properties online for these downtown homes. So that the people that were reaching out were like really qualified leads. These are people that had tons of information in their hands, had a really good feel for the property. So it's strange. I'm curious for the realtor's perspective, like the 3D tour, I feel like there's kind of a generational gap. I feel like younger people look for it, have no problem with it, enjoy checking it out. But I've actually heard like negative comments from realtors before, from some of their older buyers that like thought it was weird or made them like motion sick. They thought it wasn't helpful. I'm curious as to if you're seeing it in downtown listings as a necessary thing or just not even really important.
I think especially for Matterport, I think the most important thing for me when I'm doing a Matterport, if I'm doing a Matterport, is the configuration of the property and the functionality of the property. Because I think if it's a weird property, Matterport really helps that end user understand the flow of the property. I don't really use Matterport on smaller 1 or 2 bedrooms. I will do videos and sometimes I create them in-house, or sometimes I have the photographer create them for me, and it depends. And I use a lot of photography still. I mean, and I'm not doing the actual virtual tours like I used to, because I don't know, they're just the photography that's struck through a virtual tour. So it's a little different. With all of my properties though, what I think is really important is the floor plan. I do a floor plan with every single property. I don't care if it's a 1 bedroom, or a 5 bedroom, or whatever it is, I'm doing a floor plan. And I know it costs a little bit more money, but the smaller properties, I think, lend themselves to floor plans extremely well, because it's really hard to show how big something is. And especially now on the MLS, most people aren't going to put the square footage because they don't want to get in trouble putting a square footage that's not accurate. That's my take on it. Wendi, what do you think?
I think that I agree. I think that there are times that I feel that Matterport is important. I do like the, kind of trendy music videos. I think that catches everyone's attention. And it's just kind of great to, put on your social media, whether you're going to sell that property or not. It gives you some good recognition. My question for you, Tony, besides Matterport, is there anything, are you seeing, you can tell maybe some other agents' secrets. Is there anything that any agents out there are doing that is super cool and unique, and someone that's thought out of the box video wise or photography wise to do something a little different?
Absolutely. I'm always encouraging my clients to use, I don't say steal, but be inspired.
Yeah.
Be inspired.
Exactly. Can you inspire us?
Inspired by how other people are using media, because we produce it. We we'll obviously create stuff and then partner with our clients to kind of come up with a strategy for what will work best. I've talked people out of using Matterport tours when they've been adamant on it. When I look at the place and I'm like, it shows everything. And this isn't a home that's styled. This isn't a home that let's go into a video direction or do something different that we can direct the viewer's eye into the real strong selling points of the home. Because certain pieces of media, it shows everything, and you're not going to leverage the selling points. You're going to be showing them things that might turn them off. So definitely some back and forth there. But what I really love is when agents, we'll give them media, we'll put together that music video, really, really beautiful things. We'll put together neighborhoods footage. We'll put together all of these different things to try and tell a whole story of the home. The favorite thing I've seen, a few of our clients do, is they'll actually take that piece of media and use it for all it's worth, and they will split up things, and they'll grab maybe just the neighborhood stuff, and they'll make a coming soon ad with it, or they'll do a little Instagram story with just little snippets of it here and there, and they'll take that one piece of media and they'll make 10 different pieces of media out of it. We're not charging them 10 times to do that. They're taking that thing that we made for them, and we collaborated with them, and we made it just perfect with conversation with them, so they get what's in their mind that's gonna really sell this home the best and tell the story the fullest. And then they take that final piece of media and then they will go crazy with it. And it's so fun to see when they do they'll do a Facebook Live video, and then they'll bring the video in after that, so they'll tie their own VO to a video. And you can get very creative once you have a piece of media that you're happy with. You can then turn around and you can do boosted ads and posts with it to try and get a ton of views on it. try and create community with it by posting things about the neighborhood shots and asking questions. And like, you know, people will take a piece of media and then develop ideas around, you know, the segments of it. And I think that is a really, really sharp way to take something and then try and really move it. I've had other people that'll take the photos that we take with it or the video, and they'll use it, bring it back after it sells and just ring the bell for, like, you know, the value that they brought as an agent to the sell side, and say like, okay, so like this, you know, we made all this, it worked, it was out in the world, and it was getting views, and then we had, you know, went under contract, and then that contract fell apart, and then it went back, and then maybe it's months later, they bring the video back and they post everything, and they're like, just to ring the bell and have success, that this closed, we had a great experience, this is beautiful, you know.
Great idea.
Just bring, like, when you have good media, use it. You know, really like try and get that out there, because that's not only telling the story of the property, but it's also showing the value that you're bringing, you know, to your clients, and it's super visible.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That sounds great.
I like the neighborhood component of it and what you're doing with that.
It's huge. It's huge because you're buying. I mean, when I moved to Forest Park, I had no idea. I'd never been to the area, but I mean, we fell in love with it based on the neighborhood. And I mean, and I know so many people I know decide on the home that they're buying, not because of necessarily just the components of the property itself, but that street you're living on, that energy of that little, and I mean, that it can be so hyper local in the city where it's a few blocks that.
Well, and Chicago is such a neighborhood city.
Yeah.
You know, so many neighborhoods, and they each, you know, have a different personality and are going to appeal to different people. So I think I always tell my clients, my buyers, like, you know, we'll find you something, but the things you can't change is, like, you can't change the location, which is basically the neighborhood. So you got to like where it is. You can't change the location. You can't change like the basic, like, structure of the place, you know, maybe tear down a wall and things like that, but all the other stuff you can change. So you really gotta, if you, I think, can hit to the emotion of the neighborhood with people, that's huge.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's great.
I agree with
People
Tony.
tend to get caught up on those small things, but exactly like you said, the neighborhood and stuff like that are those big things that will never change. So you really need to know that you're buying into that. So
yeah, and I think part of that too today, because we are so widespread, in Chicago's neighborhoods have grown so much in the last 7 years. I'm sure you guys all know that. I mean, people will go a lot of different places today. They're not stuck. You know, today when I say to a buyer, well, what are you thinking about? Well, it's not just Lincoln Park and Lakeview. Well, I don't mind Horner Park. Oh, Lincoln Square or Edgewater. I mean, people are all over the place and they're looking at the whole package.
Well, especially now because people are they're not commuting to work.
Right.
So I've had people, the same thing. They're looking at, like, I don't know, I'll live anywhere now, you know, even the suburbs, because I'm not commuting to the Loop every day. You know, I'm working from my home. So you're right. It's definitely opened, I think, a lot more neighborhoods to a lot more people.
Yeah, and it's also more economic, because if they're not in Lincoln Park, they can go north and spend less money and get the same place or a bigger place and less taxes. So it's the quality of life on all fronts. I mean, and that's something we all have to speak to, and which is a fun thing. I mean, I love exploring different neighborhoods and taking my clients there. And a lot of times I test them and I'm like, let's go here and here today. And let me show you this and share this with you. And it's kind of fun because you're getting a different reaction from them, something they don't know about. And it's an education.
For sure.
Yeah, I completely agree with Tony. Talking about social media is key. What I've also learned since I've been in the industry is a lot of people do the same thing. Like nobody's doing, like, thinking outside the box, do anything different. Kind of everybody kind of do the same thing. It's so impactful. It's so important that social media is like changed all my business all my referral partners' businesses because, for instance, like the Facebook Lives I told you all about. People like Richard Lomax from Gramercy Group. I don't know if you know him. He's on AGTV. We just did a video maybe 2 weeks ago. I have a video coming up with Sheena Baker, who's been on the Who's Who of Real Estate magazine. And they all like just social media videos. And like Tony, we were saying like the younger generation, my generation, like the video, the 3D, and the older, you know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks kind of thing. So you got to do both. Another thing that a lot of my realtors and loan officers have been liking is we came up with an idea of doing a virtual home buying.
Virtual what?
I think did we lose him?
I think he froze.
He froze.
Or he's really good at holding still.
Yeah, I was.
That's remarkable.
He's doing this on purpose. I'm impressed.
Were you going to say that, Tony? Sorry.
Is that a marketing tactic right there?
Yeah.
Like, whoa, freeze frame.
Kirk,
I'm sorry. It was frozen.
No, it's all good. We lost you for like.
Oh, sorry.
Rewind like 15 seconds. And pick up your thoughts.
15 seconds? Okay. One
Give or
cool
take.
thing that I've been doing. Okay. Well, I don't know why you were left off, but I'm going to go to the meat of everything. One of the new ideas that me and my referral partners have come up with is a virtual home buying seminar. And that was different because people were coming in the car with their kids. They were in the grocery store listening and everything like that. I was like, wow, you know what? This is better than the actual home buying seminar because first off, you got to find people to come into the location at a certain time. They have to be there physically. You know, at this point, they're anywhere now looking in. And what we did is kind of like how Andy did it. So anybody that was on the home buying seminar that's speaking, they would tag them. So then you're tapping into their network as well. So really, social media is like real. If I was a realtor right now, I would just do everything virtual, like it because you get to everybody that we're tagging into right now. Everyone on their page is able to see it. So everybody gets to see that listing that you're talking about, the Facebook Live, the home, whatever it is. And I think that might be able to help you all sell some of those 1-bedroom houses and apartment. I really want to get you all's number before I get off here because I want to see how I can help you all, you know, show those properties so we can help you come up with different ways of how to sell those things. Because I've heard a lot of my referral partners saying the same thing, but the social media aspect, we got to talk with Tony too and get some more advice from him because social media is just very important right now. It's just very important.
And I'll send everybody, I mean, it's obviously it's on the calendar invite, but I will send everybody's email addresses out to follow. I mean, I'm not going to, you know, the thing that people love the most is being on an email thread with like 10 other people, right? I'll email myself and put everybody else in the BCC and then do the email. So there's not like some long email thread train that lasts until, you know, 2021. Yeah. Well, just want to frame that. Just want to frame that properly.
Yeah.
Well, my question to the realtors though, how often do you all use social media? Do you manage your own social media? Do you have somebody else manage your social media? How active are you with social media?
Personally, I'm very active. I have someone that manages all my social media for me. I use Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. I do videos every month myself with my newsletters and post those. I've been active with social media with professional help for the last 3 years because I saw a real need in it. And, you know, it's a necessary, I don't want to say evil, but kind of.
You can say it. This is real
necessary evil. I mean,
it is a necessary evil.
And, you know, I don't love to sit there and have to do videos every month, but I do them because I know that it gets more traction. If I post a video to Instagram, I get so much more activity than if I don't post a video, you know, that kind of thing. And I do videos of my homes, you know, we do under contracts, we do solds. I love the idea of going back months later though, like Tony suggested. I don't really do that, but I'm always trying to learn new things. And, you know, the one thing about social media I think is fantastic is that it's changing constantly. And there's always a new trend.
Hard to keep up with.
Yeah, and Kurt, you were just talking about some trends. You're doing some great stuff. I love the virtual home buying seminar. Didn't really think about doing something like that, but definitely something to think about.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, I try and stay engaged in my social media as much as possible, you know, at least once a day. I do manage it myself, which I probably shouldn't, but you know, I think that's something I'm going to look into, you know, in the next, I don't know, maybe this fall, kind of having someone give me a little bit more guidance, because I would like to do more video. Not a big fan of talking to you guys is okay. Our Facebook Live is okay, I guess, but I need to get comfortable with that. But you're right, it is, you keep people engaged by just keep showing your face and telling your story and stuff like that. So I do agree with you, Kirk, that it is super important. Not to change
Wendi,
yeah, oh, go ahead.
all we gotta do is get you outside your comfort zone. That's all it is.
I know.
We're in Chicago, real producers and people like real. So a lot of people are nervous to do a Facebook Live and speak because they're nervous. People are gonna have an impression of them. They might mess up, but that's okay because people understand human. And one of my favorite books is that what I learned it from is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Sorry, excuse my language, but that's the title.
Yeah.
You ever read that book? But they say even the best people that perform, they always get this butterfly in this feeling in their stomach. So you got to understand, everybody goes through it. Just do it.
Well, and I think people like the authenticity of it, that you're real. Right. These exactly. Social media mega stars are, because they tell their story and they talk about going to the bathroom and this and that, just everyday things. And so I think not that realtors need to do that, but I understand what you're saying.
You're talking about Jerry Seinfeld? Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly.
Kirk, too, I mean, I'll try to stay out of the conversation as much as possible, but Kirk, I appreciate you saying that because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. It's one of those things where let's put these together, let's get people to connect, and just do life together. I mean, that's really what it is. And so, I got a lot of flack. Who starts a print magazine? Do people still actually read that crap? In 2017, that was supposed to be a joke. You guys can laugh. It's okay. You know what I mean? But what it is, it's a community connector. That's what it is. I had a lot of agents tell me, they're like, no, this is good. I like that you do it based on merit. And so, Kirk, I appreciate you saying that. It's just a come together, be authentic, don't be too scripted. And then that's not to say don't know what you're talking about, don't do some preparation, but kudos to you, man. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah.
Another nugget, what we do for the home buying seminars, like you said, you got to tag everyone that's on the video, but also what we do is we'll get some gift cards and we have a raffle. So everybody that likes the video or shares the video of the virtual home buying seminar, they get to enter themselves into a raffle. And what they also get to do for the realtor, you have people that you can call because they liked it. So now you have a list of people you can call them, instant message, ask them ready to buy or sell a home. And then you have a raffle, you can do whatever you want with it. So then because you had a raffle, you have now people sharing your video. Now you're tapping to their network. So you can get a view of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 because you're tapping to maybe 20, 25, 30 people, which is another creative way.
That's a great thing too. Yeah. Good idea.
Yeah, and when you boost posts, which I'm always a fan of on these sites, you can actually target those specific groups of people that are already selected for because people in your network are liking media posts. It can go layers deep where you get connected with these people. So that's real sharp, Kirk. I like that. That's a cool idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think obviously with everything going on has caused us all to kind of transition our business, especially realtors similar to, ourselves. We're all in the people business, right? We're meeting with people in person. And I think that's what we kind of enjoy, is just helping other people. So I know doing this virtually has been kind of a bit of a change for sure. And everyone, as far as my clients, some of them, everything is going amazingly and they need to do more. But on the flip side, we've had a handful of clients that they were either furloughed or their business dried up, and so then it's kind of making sure that we're adjusting and meeting their kind of financial needs and planning whatever they want. But I was just curious, I was kind of like an idea of like a peak in a pit, so just kind of wanted to ask everyone in the room, what was one of their greatest successes that they've had moving into this more virtual world, and then any major flubs that you've had over the past 6 months?
Let's do the flubs first. Let's get good. Start with the good news. I like that. Thank you for asking that question, Morgan, too. So let's do the flubs first, or something negative. We can be authentic, and then we can do the highs. So
Okay, well, I'll start with the flubs.
Thank you, Wendi.
I mean, I think in the beginning of COVID, when we were stay at home, I felt kind of like paralyzed for, I don't know, a month or two. Like I was trying to stay engaged in my business and engage with my clients, but I don't know if it was just a mental thing that, oh my God, we're stuck at home. Like, how are we going to do this? And it took me a while to kind of get out of that rut. And just start doing little things. I needed to realize that if I just did little things every day, it kept me engaged with my people. And so I think that was just a huge flub for me. I should have just like kept stronger from the beginning. I still also, I think I struggle every day just with, like we were talking about, what is the fall market going to be like? I just get very nervous about the future, and can we keep it going at this? Since the market was good over the summer, it gave me some hope. But like we said, there's an election coming up. And who knows if we're going to get stuck at home again, if the flu, blah, 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 all that stuff happens. So I tend to get into my own head and can downward spiral, which is why like a talk like this can be very good for me, because you guys are all very uplifting. But I think like getting out of my comfort zone and getting out of my own head, I need to do that, because the other is a big flub for me.
Yeah, get rid of that head trash, because it hasn't happened yet. So, you're scaring yourself out of something that may not happen.
You're right. You're right.
What
I
do
will
they say? 90% of the things that you worry about never actually come to fruition. So I cut you off, but that's very, very true, Morgan. Go ahead, man.
Even if it does, so what?
Yeah.
True, right?
Amen.
So what?
We're all in the same boat. We're all in it together.
You learn from your
I know.
failures.
Yeah. But that's why this is really good, because when I hear it from different industries and, people like Charese, who's been doing this a long time and is such a rock star, it makes me feel better that everybody's kind of has their ups and
I
downs.
didn't ask her for that.
It's
promotion.
okay. Oh, yes, you did.
Thanks, Wendi. I have to buy her a glass of wine later just to
There
say.
you go.
I would say, I'm just going to jump in. I will couple that with what Wendi said. It was just such a hard time to get used to. And I think my biggest flubs, and I still struggle with this, is that I'm so used to doing things physically. I'm so used to being there for my clients all the time. And so when I do a closing, I'm not used to having to contact this person for paperwork and this person for paperwork. And a lot of times I completely miss the boat. And then after, 5 days after the closing, I still don't have I don't have the HUD. I don't have I didn't tell them where to send the commission check or anything like that. And I'm kind of backtracking, and my brain has not wrapped itself around that yet, because I always went to my closings and now I don't go to any closing. And so that means that all the stuff that I would have normally picked up at the closing has to be done in a different way. And that means I've got to communicate with the attorney. I've got to communicate with the closer. There's a lot of different steps that are involved now. And, I always tended to do this stuff myself because I thought it was very important to be there and to be present for my clients. And so it's a learning curve, and I'm constantly trying to get better at making sure, I've got a closing coming up. I need to make sure my HUD's there. I need to make sure, that I'm getting these things so my company can get the stuff to close out the file. It's little things, you're so used to doing certain things for such a long time, a certain way. And then when all of a sudden it shifts so quickly, you're not there. You're not
right. It's all about finding the new normal.
Right. Exactly. And the new routine. And, I've gotten better at it, but I still have a ways to go. So.
No,
I want to jump in. I just want to ask Morgan a quick question. What are you seeing, financially with, obviously I'm sure you're seeing all different directions, but what is like the norm or the majority? Obviously you said like some people are furloughed. Like what are they doing to help their situation for that? And are you seeing people being more cautious in their financing, how they're investing or whatever you do. I'm not really sure what you do.
Yeah,
But you're
yeah,
a financial guy, so you take care of people's money, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's really everything under the sun. I mean, just getting to know a client and understanding where they're at from an income standpoint, where their assets are, any liabilities, loans that they've got, and then what their financial goals are, and then building out a plan and a set of recommendations that are minimizing the taxes that they're paying now and then in the future, and then the fees as well. So when something like this happens and things dramatically change, we pull off those monthly investments that they're doing into like a Roth IRA, or we were doing some options for deferring insurance payments. Mass Mutual had come out with that. A number of carriers had. And then some of them, depending on, if they've got a lot of pre-tax money and like an old 401k, or people that had, simple IRAs, there are some options if their income is now dramatically lower this year, where we can put that into a post-tax investment vehicle. So I think that's why I also love working with realtors, especially when they'll allow me to get involved with their accountant as well. Like all three of us work together, because that way, we're minimizing their taxes this year, but then also, 30 years down the road, or even 10 years down the road, when they go to retire, they don't have this massive account balance that's now going to get hit with ordinary income taxes. And I think not a lot of accountants, some accountants don't think in that way, because it's all about minimizing this year's tax impact. Whereas I like to come at it from a long-term, like, how are we going to access that money for you? And who knows what income tax rates are going to look like in the future.
True.
So yeah, it kind of depends on the client. But yeah, just having that set plan and those priority list of items and what we're going to do, and then maybe need to repivot those if their income has dramatically changed. Yeah.
Good, thank you.
Good.
Wait, one other quick question. I have a daughter who, this is a little just personal thing. I have a daughter who's like post-college, she's 2 years out of college. She has a lot of friends. When is a good time for them to like start thinking about their future, or starting small funds, or start planning for, do you think you meet with young people like that and give them some guidance?
Yeah, I love meeting with proactive young. Money is important. Your cash flow is important, obviously, that you're not overspending what you're earning. But the second most important thing is time. Compound interest is an incredible thing. And we have some good materials on what it takes for, a 22-year-old to retire on X amount versus even if they wait 10 years doing it. So even if it's something small, start today and get working on it. I think if retirement is the biggest thing, the Roth IRA is probably your best vehicle right now for people to start saving for retirement with. That tax cut that we got in 2017, that's actually going to expire in a few years on the individual side. So tax rates, unless if there's a change, are likely going up anyway. So my advice for people, especially younger, your income's probably less now than what it'll be 10 years from now. Take advantage of that post-tax money you've paid a lower income tax rate and start stocking it away, and you've got 30, 40 years of, probably some good compound growth. And then you get it all tax-free after age 59 and a half, with a couple other caveats, but
Cool.
Yeah,
Thanks.
always great to start early.
I have one more question for the realtors on the video. What do you all use as a closing gift now? Or do you all use closing gifts now there's a pandemic and you're not able to go to the closing table anymore? What are you all doing nowadays?
For me, I do different gifts for different people. Depends on the buyer or the seller. Like for a buyer, sometimes I'll do a homeowner's warranty if I feel like it's necessary to cover appliances, things for the next year that might come up. But like one of my favorite vendors, I'll be very honest, is Nambi. Nambi is a really great gift because it's a unique type of gift. And so if I want to get really unique, I'll order like a bunch of stuff from Nambi at the same time, and I'll just open up an account there. And it's just a really beautiful gift that can last forever. And then my company has a tremendous amount of gifts that I can go online and purchase different things for different types of people. And every closing I have, depending on the price of the closing, I formulate a different type of gift in a different type of amount based on the closing and the client. I try to become very personable with that because I think it's important. Everyone has a different personality, so I can't get, it's not the one fits all box. You know what I mean?
Do you know Amanda Stapleton? Since you were at Compass, do you know her? Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Wendy, what do you do as a closing gift?
Probably similar to what Charese does. I try and, tailor it to, because I work with clients across the board from first-time home buyers, in their early 20s, to, empty nesters, retirees. So I try and get something for the home. Sometimes I do some personalized things where it has their name on it or initials, or I had a first-time home buyer, this young guy, he has nothing. I just ordered him like monogram beer mugs. Because he'll be drinking beer and he'll look at those and hopefully think of me. So I kind of try and custom tailor it to the people. And if I don't go to the closing table with them, usually I don't bring it to the closing. It's something that I'll send like a few weeks afterwards. When we used to go to the closing table, I'd bring a bottle of champagne just to kind of, make that day exciting, and then drop something off at their house a few weeks ago. And so I'm still doing that even with COVID, even if I just drop it at the door or they run out and get it, I'm still kind of physically bringing it to them.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that if you're not able to make it, you still send it to them, because what I've been doing, have you all heard of champagne closings before?
What was it called?
Champagne closings. Yes. So what it is I'm a business partner of the company, and we provide an experience of champagne toast to the buyer, or the seller. And now because of COVID, of course, we can't go to the actual closing table. We'll go to the house. So we'll meet the client at the house, pour champagne, provide a toast, celebrating them. And we've also had, he has different packages where I had a client maybe 2 months ago where they picked the client up from their house, took them to the closing table, then took them to their property, and then they had lunch and they had a toast. So it's an experience. And that client went berserk. They always remember their realtor, because it's an experience at this point. And a lot of realtors are taking advantage of it. It's like, it makes them look good.
That's cool.
The gifts that you
send us the link for that when Andy sends out the email. You can send us something on that too. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. All you gotta do is just call me, and I'll provide that for all the clients. So yeah,
they'll remember the realtor as long as they don't have too much champagne. I just want to clarify that.
Right. But if they don't like champagne, we'll get something
kidding.
sparkling for them as well.
Yeah, no, that's
It
cool.
could also be the other way around, Andy. If we have too much champagne, they're going to remember us because they've had way too much champagne.
There you go. You know your client though, so you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, by this time you've gotten to know their personalities. Well, I want to be respectful of everybody's time, so I appreciate everybody carving this hour out just to kind of connect. I'm gonna cut the live feed right now, and that's it. So thanks for joining us. I'll cut